Welcome, dear viewers, to another electrifying edition from Soap News and Spoilers, your ultimate destination for all the twists, turns, and tantalizing teasers from the world of daytime drama. Today, we're diving deep into the heart-pounding saga unfolding on Beyond the Gates, where secrets simmer like a pot about to boil over, and loyalties are as fragile as a house of cards in a storm. At the center of this whirlwind is the enigmatic Bill Harrington, the brooding patriarch whose life has been a roller coaster of power plays, forbidden romances, and now a chilling brush with mortality. Will the ever-vigilant Madison, his trusted confidant and medical advisor, deliver a bombshell that shatters his world? Could Bill finally pierce the veil of deception and uncover that his own flesh and blood Hallie has been orchestrating his slow demise? And if the truth emerges from the shadows, will it ignite a firestorm of revenge or accelerate a deadly endgame? Buckle up, soap fans. We're about to dissect this poison-laced storyline with the drama and detail it deserves. Let's rewind the tape a bit to set the stage for this gripping narrative. Beyond the Gates has always been a masterclass in melodrama, set against the opulent backdrop of the Harrington estate, a sprawling mansion that hides more skeletons than a forgotten graveyard. Bill Harrington, played with gravelly intensity by veteran actor Victor Langston, is the quintessential soap opera tycoon, a man who built his empire from the ground up, crushing rivals with a steely gaze and a sharper tongue. He survived corporate takeovers, illicit affairs that tore families apart, and even a near-fatal car crash in Season 5 that left viewers on the edge of their seats for weeks. But nothing, absolutely nothing, has prepared him, or us, for the insidious threat lurking within his inner circle. Enter Hallie Harrington, Bill's ambitious niece, portrayed by the rising starlet Elena Voss, whose white-dyed innocence masks a viper's cunning. Hallie arrived on the scene 2 seasons ago as the prodigal relative, fleeing a mysterious past in the shadowy underbelly of New York City's elite. At first, she seemed like a breath of fresh air, charming her way into Bill's affections with tales of hardship and dreams of redemption. But oh, how the mighty can follower in this case be pushed. As devoted fans know, Hallie's true motives have been unraveling like a poorly knit sweater, driven by a seething resentment over a long-forgotten inheritance dispute. Bill's decision to cut her late father out of the family fortune. Hallie has embarked on a path of vengeance that's as calculated as it is cruel. The poison plot kicked off subtly, almost imperceptibly, in the episodes leading up to this explosive arc. It all began with a seemingly innocuous family dinner at the Harrington estate, where crystal glasses clinked under chandelier lights and laughter echoed through marble halls. But beneath the facade of familial bliss, Hallie was already weaving her web. Her accomplice, none other than her shady cousin, Randy, a character shrouded in mystery and played with oily charm by guest star Marcus Hale. Randy, a black market chemist with ties to underground labs, supplied Hallie with a toxin so sophisticated it's billed as undetectable in standard medical tests. This isn't your run-of-the-mill arsenic or cyanide. No, this is a designer poison, a slow-acting compound that mimics the symptoms of chronic fatigue or even early-onset dementia, allowing the perpetrator to watch their victim deteriorate without raising alarms. Viewers first caught wind of this dastardly scheme in a hushed conversation between Hallie and Randy, filmed in the dim glow of a back alley warehouse. "This stuff is a ghost," Randy whispered, handing over a vial that gleamed like liquid death under fluorescent lights. "It'll eat him from the inside out, and no one will suspect a thing." Hallie's eyes, cold and calculating, reflected her inner turmoil or lack thereof. "Perfect," she replied, her voice a silken threat of malice. "Uncle Bill's had his time in the sun. Now it's mine." From that moment, the poisoning commenced in drips and drops, a tainted glass of scotch here, a spiked meal there, all administered under the guise of niece-like concern. Bill, ever the stoic, brushed off his growing lethargy as the burdens of age and business stress. "I'm fine," he'd growled to concerned staff, popping another pill from his ever-present bottle of nari that even those were compromised. But soaps thrive on escalation, and this storyline is no exception. Fast forward to the present, where the noose is tightening. Next week promises a pivotal episode that could flip the script entirely. Bill, routine-bound as ever, undergoes his monthly health checkup at the prestigious Gates Medical Center, a gleaming facility that's seen its share of dramatic revelations over the years. Enter Madison Clark, the sharp-witted doctor and Bill's occasional romantic interest, brought to life by the elegant Sophia Reyes. Madison has been a beacon of reason in Bill's chaotic world. Her white coat a symbol of stability amid the storm. But this time, her news isn't the clean bill of health Bill expects. Picture the scene, the sterile examination room, bathed in harsh fluorescent light, with medical charts flickering on a nearby screen. Bill sits on the edge of the table, his broad shoulders slumped ever so slightly, a subtle nod to the poison's toll. Madison enters, her expression a mask of professional calm, but her eyes betray a flicker of worry. "Bill, we need to talk about your test results," she says, her voice steady, yet laced with gravity. Bill, ever the impatient mogul, waves a hand dismissively. "Spit it out, Madison. I've got a board meeting in an hour." She hesitates, flipping through the pages of his file, each rustle amplifying the tension. There is a potentially confusing issue here, she finally admits, choosing her words like stepping through a minefield. "Your levels are way off. It's not aligning with your history." Bill's irritation flares like a match in dry tinder. "Confusing? What the hell does that mean? My health's been rock solid for months." He stands, pacing the room with the energy of a caged lion, his face reddening. Viewers can almost feel the pulse of his frustration, a stark contrast to the man who once commanded rooms with effortless authority. Madison presses on, her tone gentle yet firm. "These anomalies could indicate something more serious. We need further tests." But Bill, blinded by denial, storms out, muttering about incompetent doctors and wasted time. Little does he know, this confusing issue is the first crack in Haley's impenetrable death toxin's subtle fingerprints finally showing up on advanced scans. Oh, the drama that ensues from here, as spoilers trickle in from set insiders. Bill's suspicion begins to brew like a storm on the horizon. It starts small, a forgotten memory here, a lingering headache there, but soon connects to Haley's odd behaviors. Remember the episode where Haley insisted on preparing Bill's favorite herbal tea, her hands trembling just a fraction as she stirred in the special ingredient? Or the time she hovered too closely during his meals, her smile a bit too forced? Bill, no fool despite his vulnerabilities, starts piecing it together. A late-night confrontation looms, perhaps in the dimly lit study of the estate, where shadows dance on oak-paneled walls and secrets whisper from every corner. Imagine the intensity. Bill, glass in hand, takes a sip of his evening drunkenly to pause, his eyes narrowing on Haley across the room. "You've been awfully attentive lately, niece," he says, his voice a low rumble. Haley's heart races. We see it in the close-up shot of her widened eyes, the subtle bead of sweat on her brow. "Just looking out for family, Uncle Bill," she replies, but her words hang heavy with unspoken guilt. If Bill uncovers the truth that the poison came from Randy, that Haley's motive is rooted in a decades-old grudge over the family, he could erupt in a fury unmatched in soap history. "You poisoned me," he'd roar, slamming his fist on the antique desk, peepers scattering like confetti in a tragedy. Haley, cornered like a rat, might crumple, her facade shattering into tears and pleas. "It was for justice. You ruined my father." But here's where the plot thickens into pure soap gold. Haley's terror could propel her into overdrive. Terrified of Bill's wrath after all, he's known to tear apart enemies with legal prowess, or worse, she might accelerate her plan. Instead of the slow drip of death, she could opt for a fatal dose, perhaps during a high-stakes family gathering at the estate's grand ballroom. The scene writes itself, crystal chandeliers glittering overhead, guests in evening wear mingling obliviously, while Haley slips the final toxin into Bill's champagne flute. The camera pans to her trembling hand, the liquid swirling ominously. Will she go through with it, or will Madison, ever the heroine, intervene with irrefutable evidence from those test results? Let's not forget Randy's role in this web of deceit. As Haley's cousin and supplier, He's a wild card. Spoilers hint at a potential betrayal. Randy, facing his own demons, perhaps pressure from authorities sniffing around his illicit operations, might turn on Haley to save his skin. A clandestine meeting in a rain-soaked parking lot, wipers slashing across windshields, could see Randy confessing to Bill, "She made me do it, man. But I can prove it." This alliance shift would send shockwaves through the storyline, pitting family against family in a battle of wits and wills. The emotional layers here are what elevate Beyond the Gates from mere entertainment to addictive obsession. Bill's journey isn't just about survival. It's a profound exploration of trust betrayed. He's a man who's always prided himself on his instincts, yet he missed the serpent in his garden. His irritation at Madison's news isn't just anger, it's fear, buried deep under layers of machismo. Haley's villainy, too, is nuanced. Flashbacks could reveal her father's downfall, painting her not as a monster, but as a product of neglect and rage. And Madison, she's the moral compass, torn between professional duty and personal affection for Bill. Their chemistry sizzles. Remember that stolen kiss in the hospital corridor last season? And this crisis could reignite old flames. As we speculate on the unfolding drama, let's consider the broader implications for the show's ensemble. Bill's potential downfall could ripple out, affecting his business empire, where rivals like the scheming Victoria laying wait in the wings to pounce. Haley's acceleration might ensnare innocence, like her unsuspecting boyfriend, Jake, who could become collateral damage in a poison mishap. And what of the estate itself? Beyond the Gates derives its name from the iron wrought portals guarding the property, symbolizing barriers between truth and lies. If Bill survives since Soap's love, a resurrection might fortify those gates, exiling Haley to a fate worse than death, obscurity. But enough theorizing, the real thrill lies in the waiting. Will Madison's revelation be the catalyst that saves Bill, or the spark that ignites total chaos? Will Haley's fear drive her to madness, or will Bill's suspicion lead to her undoing? Soap news and spoilers will be glued to our screens next week, dissecting every glance, every whisper. This storyline harkens back to classic soap tropes. Poison chalice. The family betrayal yet feels fresh in its execution, thanks to stellar writing and performances that tug at the heartstrings while chilling the spine. In the grand tradition of daytime drama, Beyond the Gates reminds us that no one is safe, no secret eternal. Bill's stable health, once a given, now hangs by a thread poisoned with deceit. Haley's plan, meticulously crafted, teeters on the brink of exposure, and we, the viewers, are the ultimate beneficiaries, treated to a feast of suspense that's as addictive as it is alarming. Stay tuned, folks. The gates are about to swing wide open, and what lies beyond could change everything. As the credits roll on this preview, let's ponder the what-ifs. Suppose Bill confronts Haley directly. Will she deny it with crocodile tears, or confess in a torrent of justifications? Imagine the courtroom drama that escalates to legal battles. Bill, frail but fierce on the stand, recounting his symptoms, while Haley glares from the defense table. Or perhaps a twist. The toxin isn't as undetectable as Randy claimed, leading to a race against time for an antidote, with Madison leading the charge in a high-tech lab sequence straight out of a thriller. The supporting cast adds depth to. Take Aunt Lydia, Bill's sister and Haley's mother, who's been oblivious to her daughter's schemes. Her awakening could be heartrending, a scene of maternal betrayal, tears streaming as she disowns Haley. "How could you?" she'd wail, collapsing into Bill's arms, forging an unlikely alliance. Then there's the estate staff. The loyal butler, Reginald, who's noticed Haley's furtive kitchen visits. The maid, Clara, who might have overheard incriminating phone calls to Randy. Their testimonies could be the nails in Haley's coffin. Visually, the show excels in building tension. Directors use close-ups to capture micro-expressions. Haley's lip quiver, Bill's furrowed brow, Madison's concerned glance. The soundtrack swells with ominous strings during poison scenes, contrasting with lighter melodies in false moments of peace. Lighting plays a role too shadowy for deceit, bright for revelations, enhancing the dramatic flair. From a fan perspective, this arc has sparked heated debates online. Forums buzz with theories. Is Randy a red herring? Could Madison be in on it? Unlikely. But soaps love misdirection. Polls show 65% believe Bill will survive. But at what cost? The emotional toll trust shattered. Family fracture might leave scars deeper than any physical wound. This poison plot isn't just plot. It's a mirror to real-life betrayals, amplified for maximum impact. Will Bill emerge victorious? Or will Haley's terror-fueled acceleration seal his fate? Only time in next week's episode will tell. Until then, keep those remotes handy. And remember, in the world of soaps, the most dangerous toxins are the ones brewed in the heart